Enjoy the show, and here we
Hey,
are. Welcome, everybody.
hey everybody.
I'm Linda Light. This is Bev Morrison here with me. We are doing a live show for the eclipse for astrology, and this is quickly evolving into something like galactic debriefing and all kinds of numerology and sapient symbols and all kinds of things. So we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, right, Bev?
Yeah, there is quite a bit. I just wonder how everybody else is feeling out there too.
Yeah, if you guys, first of all, Betty, welcome.
Hey, Betty.
Anybody who's watching, Diane, welcome. Thank you for being here, sisters. Listen, you're saying that you're having a fantastic day because you're starting a new journey, a new driving journey. Does that mean you're traveling across country? What are you doing? Where are you going? Leave it in the comments if you want, or hit me up privately. I'd love to hear. And if you're in this area, we definitely have to hook up. So I want to say Godspeed and best to you. You're going exactly where you need to go. Just follow the energy and you can't go wrong, sis. I'm proud of you. Please keep us updated and posted. We want to know all about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yay.
I think
It's
everybody's
fun.
feeling that restlessness right now too, and feeling that next step of the journey, you know.
East Coast. All right. Hang on a second, you guys. East Coast. Yay. All right. Pennsylvania, hit me up. Hit me up when you're in the area. So we were going to present some astrology. You want to do the astrology first so that we can talk about everything else that's pouring in? Because, Bev, I think that's kind of the, what do you call it? The slingshot for everything right now. I'm going to bring this.
The slingshot kind of kick it off. Yeah, we can do that first, Linda.
Yeah, because, I mean, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. The
Yeah,
eclipse
definitely.
tomorrow. The massive, massive eclipse tomorrow. Nothing big.
Nothing big.
And I know there's going to be a big one in April that's going to be totality across the United States, making the rest of the X and all that. But this is a big one in the Trinity, which ends with the 11, not ends, but it cycles into unlocking a cycle with the 1111 portal. So we want to listen up because there's all kinds of things like sapient symbols and numerology and stuff. And Bev's going to walk us through this because it's quite the chart.
Linda, could you squeeze that down a little bit? I'm just getting the top half. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you. I didn't know if it was just on my end or
I was trying to get to it without the picture disappearing like I usually do. When I hit it and then the next picture comes up and it's like, no.
So, no, good job. Good job. Sure. Well, just talking about this eclipse, wrapping up cycles. It actually goes, the eclipse cycles do in the north and south nodes. It takes 18 years to go all the way around. So we're ending up a 19-year cycle. The last time that we had this eclipse at the same degree in Taurus was October 28th of 2004. So just look back from that time, what all has transpired. That's a long time is all I can say. I know it's been a very long 19 years.
My God, so, that's a lifetime ago.
Pretty much. It feels like it, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
But so that's something we're wrapping up there. This will be the last one in the Taurus and Scorpio axis. So the rest now will continue on with the north node in Aries and the south node in Libra.
And so the south node is not on this chart, just so you know, but it's the opposite of where this north node is. Just take a line and go straight across.
Exactly opposite. So they're sitting at 24 Taurus, and the south node sitting at 24 Scorpio. But the main thing that kind of jumped out at me in this chart is, looking at the sun and the moon opposing each other, and the earth is sitting in between during this eclipse. So we're looking at the two messages. It's like we're being pulled in two different areas. With Taurus being more about the moon there, we've got the emotions and kind of how we feel and look at things. And it's talking about our values, things that mean a lot to us. And you take the opposite polar in there of Scorpio with the sun there, and you've got Mercury and Mars there also. The sun in Scorpio, Pluto rules Scorpio, and it's all about the deep transformations and digging deep. So it's like we're being torn between kind of walking into 3D and then doing that deep dive in the dungeon and really looking at those last things that we're wrapping up with these cycles.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big focus right now. And we still got that Pluto there at the Pluto return point of the USA. And it's still squaring the nodes of fate Hang on, I lost it.
The nodes of fate. That sounds so cryptic, doesn't it? Especially with Halloween.
Yes,
It sounds like Three Witches, the nodes of fate.
right, right. And with Pluto squaring them, and Pluto sitting there in Capricorn at that last degree, we're still looking at, structures, institutions, systems that aren't working anymore. And Pluto is in forward motion now. And I think it's the 21st of December, he'll actually finally move forward from that point of the USA's Pluto return.
Hmm.
So it's still that saying, are we going to go the old way, with the South Node, or are we going to take it to the higher and what we've been learning through this cycle?
Where's Pluto? I think I'm missing Pluto.
Pluto's top left up there.
Oh, okay. I see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got that Neptune sitting there at the 25 degrees of Pisces, and that's in retrograde. And 25 degrees, we're at the last 4 degrees of the whole zodiac. So Neptune is kind of like stirring up those things that are beneath the surface and bringing up the illusions, shattering the illusions, I guess you'd say, with Saturn just entering back into Pisces. It's still in retrograde, but it's going back over where it was. And on the 4th of November, it'll start to go forward again. So I think we're going to see more things being pulled up from the deep and things that need to change with that Pluto return.
Bev,
and with yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's kind of like in this last week, how everybody's been like agitated or fidgety or purging things. And, therefore trying to deal with all the energies of letting go of stuff. Right?
Yes.
Like we were talking about, and being on mission and waking up and being tired. Like we were this morning, we were joking around everybody about like getting up and going, just the first thought was like, God, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. So yeah, like when we're clearing out these energies and letting go of things this whole week, like sudden urges, you were saying, you explained it well earlier, something in Virgo. Because I said, is it like the sudden urge to just feng shui something or change it up a little bit, like clean it, deep clean something, like, and you were like, yeah, that's something in Virgo.
That's Venus sitting there in Virgo, because she was in a retrograde there, and it did those 40 days and 40 nights there in Leo. And now she's in Virgo. She's bringing things forward, and she's getting support from Uranus and Jupiter in this particular chart for the eclipse. So Venus in Virgo is very much about our daily things, what we need to do, about staying grounded, how we deal with our energy. And she's being supported right now from Jupiter, which is making it easier to kind of like dot those I's and cross those T's. Because Venus in Virgo can be quite particular. We just got to keep it balanced out, though, so we don't get in that kicking yourself mode, because with the heavy Scorpio energies right now, and with the moon stirring all this up in the eclipse, it's a very emotional time. So use it in the positive. Jupiter is going to make it easy. It'll flow. You can see good changes come. And with Uranus, it could be quick changes. You could be getting things down, downloads, things changing in an instant. It happens so fast that you might not even catch it the first time. Sometimes you'll sit back and go, wait a minute, did I just really hear that? Or why didn't I see that before? Yeah. So a lot of those moments too.
That's been happening. That's been like all week, it seems like. You guys feeling that too? Please put it in the comments. Let us know, because I know I've been experiencing that. And it's interesting when something just pops off, and the next thing you know, like I really thought today I was going to be spending my day doing a particular thing or two that I had in my mind. I was pretty sure I was going to do this. And then everything shifted, and it's not because of anybody else or anything else except the energy, just like seasonal energy. We got to talk about that just for a minute, if that's okay, Bev.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
The seasonal energy comes in, and you know how we feng shui or we clean things, we spring clean, we autumn clean, it's harvest time. Like every season has a different energy and feel to it. And once you start getting in sync with maybe the 13 moon calendar, or just maybe you start to notice like, yeah, seasonally, whatever the season is, wherever you're at, you might have just more summer and winter and no spring or or autumn, but it depends where you live and what kind of season you have. You still feel the energies on the planet in a cycle. Everything's cyclical. Yes. Everything is cyclical. That still sounds funny. So
One you don't use that much. Yeah.
right. And as the wheels are turning, when they like think of a bank lock, big safe, and they click in or whatever the noise is. Can't do the sound effects. And when everything kind of clicks into a gear, it's like, whoa, and then it clicks in again. And then we're waiting for this final click, because I was shown in this crystal last night. I got this really incredible vision, and it was showing me how these cycles click into each other for what we're calling the ascension, or some people call the escape out of the matrix, or whatever you want to call it, mass, whatever. It's a mass exodus for sure. Like, where do you think the story of Moses and all came from? Like cycles of time when there's a mass exodus of some sort. And it's been a long freaking time since we've had a graduating class, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
So here we go. We're ready. We all feel it. And I was telling Bev before we went on air, I was mentioning that not to steer too far away from the astrology, but I have to say this because it's like, everybody watching this channel, pretty much, you guys are like the stewardesses or the hostesses or whatever you call them up in an airplane, or the pilots, the co-pilots, you're flying as part of the crew. And here you are flying a plane. You're familiar with being in the air. You get people in there that's never flown before, and as far as the destination, we're all going to a destination we've never been before. And we're excited. We're like, yay, we're all going together. Like we're excited about it. We've been down this road before, but we've also dealt with people that are just complaining for no reason, or, I'm sorry, we won't go there, but we're all going together in the playground together. Yeah. So it's like, if we all take personal responsibility, we're all carrying our own little carry-on, our little baggage, or maybe we don't have any baggage at all. Who knows? Depends how light you want to go.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, there's a cycle of time. And when you start getting in sync with these cycles, and astrology is just like the roadmap that's showing you how everything goes. Like you said, it takes 18 months for the nodes of North Node, South Node to go all the way around.
18 years.
Oh, so 18 years.
Yeah, it takes 18 years. So we're wrapping up an 18-year cycle. Yeah, so it's a pretty big one. Yeah.
It is a big one, right? So and people misunderstood when 2012 came around. They highly misunderstood the Mayan calendar and the end of the, people are saying it's the end of the world. The world didn't end, and haha, they make fun of it. But no, there was a timeline that closed out.
Yes.
That's the window that we're still here as humans. There was no mass extinction going on, And
yeah, but that's what everybody, it's kind of that fear thing. It goes back to that, right now, big time. They use things, especially the Eris point, they use for the nefarious part of the other side of all this. So they're like last ditch efforts and really digging in, because, we definitely are in the final stages of something.
And they're throwing everything they have at us. Like every temptation that you've ever had, every lesson you ever learned, like, and the universe serves it back up to you. And we joke around about it when you're having a test, and it's like the universe circles back around, go, you sure you don't want to do this again? You want to tango again? And it's like up to you to make that choice to say, no, I'm good, thanks. And you might have to say, no, I'm good, thanks, more than once. So it's like now everything is being thrown at you for your own preparedness for what comes next. And it's really exciting, and it's going to be really wonderful. And we're all going to get to go. It's just, we're not all going to experience it the same way. Some people are starving and sweating and everything's hurting, and they're going through the desert. Think of like somebody who's just using their walking stick and just trying to get through the sandstorm and covering their faces. All right, it's horrible. That's a horrible experience. There's birds picking at them, maybe, I don't know. Just think of the worst desert.
Picking Alfred Hitchcock, the bird. Sorry, you did a whole thing there, Linda.
Sorry, I'm trying to paint the vision of.
That's okay, because I get good visions.
Now, imagine a really good desert experience where like a freaking white horse comes up and, takes you to the promised land, more or less. And, there's water and all kinds, and you can fly. It's like, imagine like your best case scenario and your worst case scenario, because this is where we are. But this is where we are.
And it's that balance. Yeah. It's that balance. You've got either end of the spectrum, and it's getting through it with the balance, and everybody's at a different place where they're at, So yeah, everybody's experienced in something different. And it's like your chart. You come in with this set of energies, it's like taking a picture of the sky. You come in with these energies in your chart. Now, how can you work with yours? And when everybody else works with theirs, it just kind of clicks up, and everything, like you said, everything's starting to lock into place.
Locked and loaded.
Yes.
I'm telling you. Oops.
Definitely.
Now, how do I get back? Okay, there we go. See, that's what I didn't want to do. My battery on my mouse is going, so I apologize if the cursor's all over the place, because sometimes I have to, move the cursor around a lot, and then I'm over here using my finger, but I can't zoom in the picture with that. Oh, yes, I can. Never mind. Forget everything I just said.
That's okay.
Oh my God, sis, there's so many things. Like, we didn't even talk about the numerology of this yet, but let's pick up where you were talking about the chart, because this is really important. These are all about fifth dimensional codes. It's about the 1111 gateways. It's also about the 10, which is the completion of the 1, and it's all showing up in Aries, which is the first sign in astrology. Yep. And funny enough, I think Taurus is in my first house, and Aries is, I guess it would be right after that. No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Everybody has their own thing with their chart, but like when you're looking at something, it's the first house. It's like, where are we going as a collective too? This is how we're showing up. This is what's happening, right?
Yeah, Aries is your 12th house then. So just back it up one. Yeah.
Oh, 12th house. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any case, I'm sorry I don't have my chart here with me, but you're right.
No, that's all right. I just was kind of saying that so anybody can kind of picture it in their head. Everybody has things in different houses. We all have the same energies. And then what house is in is the area of life that you're dealing with that in. So maybe that makes a little more sense to people just new to astrology.
It does. I can't wait till you do your course.
I'm getting there.
Poke. I know you
It's
are.
all right.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Just like, all of us, we just keep showing up. Just show up when Spirit asks you to show up. Just follow your internal guidance system and you can't go wrong. It's a spirit-led life. Body, mind, spirit system. You guys know this. If you're listening to this channel, I know you know this. Body, mind, spirit. The body's just the car. All right. What else we got here? We got a lot.
I was going to let you were looking at the numbers a little bit while I kind of picked up my notes here. If you want to talk about some of the numbers, Linda.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at the date. Oh, I'm trying to zoom in on it right. Can you see this down here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a 10-10 right here. It's a 10-10-7.
Oh, 10-10. Okay.
Or 2 and 7, which is a 9, which is a completion. But then you have another 10 down here. So you actually have 4 and 4 is 8 and 2
oh my
is
God.
10. Yeah. So it's a 10-10 gateway. You got 10, 10, 10, triple 10. Because you got October is 10. You got the 28, 8 and 2 is 10. And you got the 424 is a 10. So you have a triple 10. And that's, 33 is master teacher, right? You got master gateway. You got master builder, number 22. And master teacher is 33. So now we have the gateway for the master teacher. The master builder is already here. The master builder is already incarnate. It's already here within yourself. Within it, it's already been claimed, I would say by the 144, but in the process of ascension, the galactic leveling up of your higher selves and higher frequency dimensions, up on those levels, there's already been the anchoring in of the master builder within yourself. So like that's kind of like acceptance of the divine masculine of who the builder is, and the master teacher is acceptance of the divine feminine, and you're marrying those two. Even though it's 2s and 3s, we always think neither one's greater than the other. It's just the vibration of the number. Okay?
Right.
All right. So this is Jupiter here, right? So that's an 11-5.
Yes,
right?
Jupiter.
I'm going to try to do this with my hand so I can better pinpoint it there. All right. Well, let's so we know that the sun and the moon are exact conjunct, right? 5 degrees, 9 minutes, and it's the same thing.
It's exactly opposite. The sun is exactly opposite. Yeah.
It's exactly opposite. It's mirroring that. Look at that. Well, that's an eclipse, right? So
yes.
So
full moon eclipse, yeah.
9 and 5 is 14, 4 and 1 is 5. All right. So we have fifth dimensional with this eclipse. 55. Remember I said 11, 22, 33. Well, the 144 is our number, right? Or it's the number of the coding for the DNA of our fractal unified self, I should say. So the activation of that 144 within ourself helps us to identify the 144,000 fractals and unify. So what we have is fifth dimensional, a double 5, and we have an 11-11 gateway. Let me see. How do I do this? Here's your 55 here. 6, 4 and 2 is 6. This is the north node. 6 and 10 is a 7. So we used to say that's God's favorite number. right?
Okay.
Now you have
Yes.
the same thing on the other side with the south node. So that's another 1010 gateway. Remember when we talked about the triple 10 for the
Yes.
date, the
Yes.
date code itself? Well, that's your north and south node is like of fate. It's like it's a fated thing. It's like what you're here to do and bring forward. And have you learned from the past? Like Bev's always telling us that. What have you learned from the past? What are you bringing forward so that you can express now? Well, it's a 655, like I said, it's a 6 and 1 is 7, and you got a double 7, 77 code. Look at that. We got a
77.
lot of double
Wow.
codes, don't we?
Yes, there's a lot. There is.
And the 9 and the 5, I think we just did this one. That's 14. 4 and 1 is 5. It's fifth dimensional, sun and moon, 55. So there's a 55 here, and there's also a 55 with the sun and moon. The sun and moon is linked to the 55,
Yes.
which is fifth dimensional.
Wow.
Or another 1010, if you want to count
Another 10,
5
10.
and 5.
Yeah.
And then we did the Jupiter already, and then we've got the 37 here, which is heaven on earth codes. It's earth to heaven, heaven on earth. 3 into 7, 73. Third dimension,
Yes.
seventh dimension, 7 into 3 is heaven on earth, and 3 into 7 is earth to heaven. So it's like Uranus is bringing in our divine frequency heaven on earth codes. That's the gateway. That's the 11 gateway that we're going through. And that's just what's in Taurus. I'm not even going to do the rest right now. We'll see.
Look at Venus real quick.
Okay. Venus is
The 9 and 13. The 9 and 13.
Wait, where's Venus? I'm totally spacing
Oh, I'm
out.
sorry. It's over there in Virgo. 4
here.
o'clock. 4 o'clock. Yeah.
See, I'm looking up at Mars because there was something up here with Mars with the 23 is a 5, and there's another 11.
Another 11. Yep.
Yeah, another 5 and 11. So it's just like fifth dimensional. There's a 10. 6 and 10 is another 7. We already did that one, and we did the 9 and 5. Okay, so this is a 9. That's completion. But
And
9.
a 13. A 9 and a 13.
And 3 and 1 is 4. 4 and 9 is 13. Comes back to 13. So that could be a
Right.
13-13 portal if you really want to go down that rabbit hole. But you can find it in there. It's a 13-13. It's still a 13, which is the divine combination. That's the rainbow tribe. That's everything coming
Yes.
together. The 12 tribes unified is the 13th tribe. So yeah, that's really cool.
I just caught that one.
We got a 717 here. We've got a 0.33 master teacher again.
Yes. I saw
And we
that
have
one. That
9
jumped out at me.
Here's your other 13. Is another
The 9 and 13. Yeah.
9 and 13. Yeah.
Wow. So there's
Uh-huh.
a lot here of ending up, and it's looking at those last things that with that Neptune sitting there at 25 degrees, the last of the zodiac. What are those illusions and things that don't really fit us anymore? What have we outgrown and transformed? And how are we
Yes.
going to take this forward? Because you got Saturn there coming into Pisces. Saturn jams on the brakes and says, "Whoa, we're going to be responsible with this." And when you're dealing with things in Pisces, there, it could be illusions, because it's the other world. It's not the 3D. So you can have things that may look like they're true, but then when you do the work and dig deeper, you see it was just an illusion. And those illusions are being routed out by that Pluto and Capricorn, and also Saturn coming into Pisces, saying, "No, we need to be responsible here." And I just see that kind of all working together, and just the things we've been through in the last couple years alone.
Yeah. Yep. Personal as well as collective for that one.
Yes. Yeah. Because, you look at the chart and you look at it on a collective level. And then when you want to get, a little more into what you're doing, run your chart and see, you may have Scorpio in your 4th house, so it'll apply to you in those areas where the planets are at. So yeah, it just comes down to what houses are in. And it's interesting to start. You can take some really deep dives.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I get lost a lot in those little deep dives, but I see a lot of good and positive changes, but we got that Mercury and Mars there conjunct in Scorpio, and you got the sun right there at 5 degrees. Now, Scorpio can be that warring energy too. And we've also, we've got that Mars there, but Mercury's there going, let's think this through. We have we had the South Node leave Scorpio and go into Libra. So what did we learn there? And also too, you've got the North Node, which is at 24 of Aries, and 21 Aries is the Eris point. And Eris is the street fighter, the female warrior. She's like Mars, and she's conjunct that North Node. but it comes down to, taking that and using that in a responsible way, with the feminine speaking up and setting those boundaries that Venus had to go through that retrograde to figure out.
Did you say that was 21 degrees?
Yeah, 21 degrees of Aries is what they
Aries?
call the Eris point.
Okay, that's a 3 also. It's a trinity.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. So that being conjunct, that's kind of interesting. It's, I can't quite find the word I want to use.
The Eris point?
Yeah, just talking about the Eris point. Well, then the black moon, that's what I wanted to say too.
Yeah.
You've got the black moon right now. It just left Leo and went into Virgo, and it's opposing Saturn. So Saturn is saying, okay, again, to the female warrior, let's stop and look at this and be responsible. What have we learned?
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's a big theme right now, because people are having things thrown, like we were talking before about cycles. It's like, do you want to stay on a poop loop, or do you want to spiral up? It seems so repetitive, doesn't it? Don't you feel like we've been talking about this forever? And
it feels like it. It does.
And it doesn't mean we're looping. It means we're cycling with the astrology. Because I've had people tell me recently too that they've watched some of our shows and on playback. I don't understand what you're saying when you put that thing up, that circle thing up, and it's like, and I'm cracking up because I'm thinking, like, I don't know shit compared to what you know. And then you're thinking that, you're still a student because you've told us that as well. You're learning 7-8 years now, like in this, but it doesn't matter where you're at in it. If you pick up by osmosis what you need, you'll always get whatever message you need.
I have friends too that aren't into astrology, and sometimes I'll say, I'll send them one of Molly McCord's or something, and I'll say, just don't pay attention to the astrology. Listen to when she talks about the energies, because that's the big message. So if you want to listen to it for the energies, listen to it and kind of, just take that instead of diving into the astrology. But if you want to take the deeper dive, then take that next step. So it all kind of depends on how far you want to go with it. I mean, some people are interested in it, not everybody is, but it's all about the energies. Everybody feels the energies in their chart, no matter what their chart looks like.
Yep. Well, that's a great point.
It just affects you more personally if you happen to have planets where everything is transiting around right now.
Yeah. And, I think getting to know what the archetypes are, it's like, as you're getting to know yourself, how can you not learn about astrology in a way? I mean, not that you have to learn. It might not be your life path to learn this life, but it's like astrology archetypes, the archetypes of the planets and all that. It gives us knowledge that we're not taught in school growing up, like what the archetypes are. Think of Carl Jung if you want to be scientific, and the archetypes. Think about gods and goddesses and mythology if you want to think about religious archetypes, or you want to go that way with gods and goddesses. But
and the asteroids.
Yeah, well, the asteroids are a whole other component to the astrology. That they're real things, they're real bodies. And you can study them scientifically. So it does make sense to start, when you start have that awakening, to start looking at the archetypes, because you have those within yourself. And when you, like you said, you start to see what house they're going through. Like, when you're talking about the energies and what the feel is behind it, it's like right now, we were talking about this before we started, Bev, with how the cycles open up, and it's like galactic time, like the birthing into the galactic community, and this is where we're going. And we see the thinning, we feel things we may not see, but the plane's getting ready to the ship is getting ready to land, and I'm talking metaphorically, but also not metaphorically, because in the galactic communities and in the galactic world, it's a real world. It's a very real world that we exist in. And to see two worlds collide in a way that is done peacefully and embodies all of that which you are, to see that happen and become that being, that's our compression breakthrough. That's our exodus. That's our in the blink of an eye. That's, whatever reference you want to use for that. That's what we're all here in this lifetime to experience, that time where we are set free and free to be who we really are. Not this amnesia. We're all here with amnesia, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So the energies behind stuff, when you start getting debriefs, when you start getting to know yourself within the archetypes, whether you use astrology or mythology or anything else, Carl Jung, astrology, whatever you use to identify within yourself, who's the goddess within yourself? who's the warrior within yourself. You know, you can give them names and go through the whole thing if you want, but when you get to know the energy signature of the being, you just become that. And it's like within you. And when you get your debrief, it all comes from within you, because that's what you embody. And the debriefing, like today's codes, for example, led to 4 8s, 8 in all directions, and 4 elements. And I know we talk about, if you want to say the 4 directions plus above and below, yeah, all right, we can do that. But just generally speaking, 4 directions for the basics, 4 elements. Get to know them, you know, get to feel them. Close your eyes and face one way, turn around completely and do a 180 and face the other way, and do it in each direction, and just try to feel the energies and take a few breaths and connect with it, with the wind, the fire, the air, the water. And it's just pretty amazing feeling that stream through your body system. And I guess my soul wanted this to come out tonight because it's about moving with the flow of things and everything that we do. Absolutely everything that you do.
And even the Native American astrology, they use the medicine wheel, and it goes on, you know, all the 4 directions too. So everything connects in some way or somehow. You know, if you look back in history, you know, what did the Native Americans do? They drew pictures on the caves telling the stories.
Yes.
That's how they handed knowledge down, you know, and that's even what, you know, the parables are written about in the Bible. You know, everything is a storytelling thing. So if you break down the stories and you start to look at the basic elements, then it starts to all click into place.
Yeah.
At least it has for me.
It does. And when it comes together, it's a beautiful thing, because you start to trust yourself again, as moving from teenage years to more like adulthood. You start to see when the training wheels come off, it's not always fun. It's not always pretty, but you know, you get to the point where you can just laugh at it. It's like, okay, what's next? All right, sure.
And that's kind of that 19-year cycle that we're wrapping up, because, you know, this is, you know, we entered into Scorpio season, and it's where we tend to do deeper dives into issues that bother us. We may be more emotional and feel a need to seek the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. So it's those last uncomfortable things that we're finishing up in that cycle. And with Uranus involved in this too, it's like, well, you can see it, or the universe will make it quite apparent to you. Which path would you rather take? And you know what? After that last 19 years, I'm looking. Give me a sign, please, because no, I don't need to get smacked up side the head with a 2x4 again. No, thank you.
That's,
you know,
so funny. Yeah, and there's a lot of that going on too. You know, if you guys are feeling that, you're seeing the numbers, you're feeling the feels, you're getting your synchronicities and your alignments, like, you know, like I said today, I did something I totally wasn't planning on doing today. And it wasn't from anybody outside of me or any change in plans. It was just a shift in the energy read that I did. And man, deep cleaning, like the oven and the microwave and just outside porch area and just stuff I wasn't even going to do. And it's not that it was dirty, but it was dirty. It was dirty from seasonal, you know, and it needed the seasonal deep clean. And there's a few things that maybe we might have got, you know, a little light on last season or maybe the season before that. Like some of it really needed to get, you know, just that deep clean. That's why I asked you, like, what is going on with these energies? Because
and that's that like Venus and Virgo.
It felt like Aries energy or Leo. It was a fire. Like, what the hell?
It may have lit you up like that, but it's that Venus and Virgo, you know, because again, Virgo is the ruler of the 6th house, and that's our daily things, what we do. And being organized, you know, it's not always been one of my greatest things. I try to, but you know, I had years that it got away from me. So now that I'm getting things organized again, it feels really good. So take the time, you know.
Yes. Well,
if you feel called to, do it.
That explains why in the kitchen today, in between, like after the cleaning and the oven's all clean, it's like, oh, okay, I got to cook now, you know, and I had cornbread to make. I was going to make brownies. I made a batch last night and gave away like half of it. And I got a quarter. My mom got a quarter, put it in a little pie. Oh, it's so good. But it was even better this morning. I'm like, oh, I got to make another batch of those. Got to make some cornbread. Got to make some chicken and cut some peppers and cut some garlic, you know, and I'm going crazy. Potatoes. And I'm just making this feast. And it was nonstop. And it was like, whoa, clean oven, you got to cook now. Right? So I have my Native American music on. Bev, I was so in the flow, and I wasn't even expecting to do this This wasn't even in the plan. And yeah, it was fire. It was definitely fire.
And I'm laughing because I just bought a box of brownie mix that I'm making tomorrow, and I got some Jiffy corn mix. There's a
Yes.
corn thing I do. Yeah,
Is it
I
a six
plan on
pack?
make. No, I just got a regular thing of Jiffy mix. But yeah, I
And
put
this
the
Jiffy
jalapeno
cornbread.
peppers.
I picked
Yeah.
up a 6-pack of Jiffy. Oh my
Oh
God.
my
How do you
God.
keep, wait, how do you side note, how do you keep the cornbread from being too dry? What do you add to it?
I just follow what the box says. I just
Oh,
put the egg and a little bit of oil in there.
okay. Because mine was a little dry, but maybe it's because it just came out of the oven. You got to let it sit and it's got to hold.
It might just cool off a little bit, and the condensation and stuff. But yeah, it's funny though. We're both
That is funny.
making the same things. Yeah.
I know. That's crazy. And you put jalapenos in yours? I'll have to get that
Yeah,
recipe going.
jalapenos, and then I put cream corn. Make it it's like a corn pudding biscuit, and then just put a little jalapenos in it.
Oh,
It's
that
good.
sounds really good. That sounds really good.
It's good with soup.
Damn. Okay. Yes. Wait. Didn't you make that when I came out? Didn't you have the cornbread?
We talked about it, and I didn't have the stuff to make it, so I got it. Here, I went to the store this week and got it. Yeah, I've been thinking about it since you were here.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. No. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. You're welcome back anytime.
All right. Next time. Cornbread
Definitely.
and soup.
Definitely.
Well, let's see.
Okay, something too that just jumped out at me that I missed.
Thanks,
Talking
Dan.
about that Taurus Scorpio axis.
Yes.
Okay, it's about the transformation. It's taking the trauma, the pain, and the shadow work and creating something and making it tangible. So pick up, it's like Chiron. He became the wounded healer, and he was in so many different areas. Take it, run with it, help somebody else out. It's taking that knowledge and using it for good. So make it tangible. If you get a new idea to do something or try something and you feel being called by spirit, take that step, make that leap, because a lot of people are finding things right now that they're being called to. And that's that North Node there, I think, in Aries.
Is that what that's doing? Because I this is definitely affecting me personally. Just like the woodwork, I shifted from jewelry to woodworking this last week, and it's been a new love of a whole new soul level skill that apparently I had at some point.
Yes, you did.
Oh, you want to see it? Should we do show and tell?
Go ahead, because man, I just can't believe that was your first time ever doing that.
Oh well, it's just you guys.
This time,
just getting started with this. Okay, let's see. I want to put it through here so it's not. Okay, so this is my staff. The first thing I did was I carved a blade at the top, right? And then I did all this other wire work, and I was like, no, wait, I don't want to do that first because I got to sand it down. I made like a handle, and then I started jawing on it, but it's still not done yet. But I started carving it. I started whittling it. And a neighbor, a shout out to James Welsh. If you're listening or you listen to this at some point, thank you for that Dremel. He gave me a Dremel and a wood carving kit to go with it. And I was able to start doing some carvings. And there's a lot of intricate work that I didn't even know I knew how to do. And then it keeps going. And there's going to be a lot more done because, like I said, I'm just getting started. But there's like a dragon at the bottom, kind of.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, that's cool. That is.
He's got teeth.
Oh man, I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, if you follow my Instagram account, it's what is it? It's Teach Peace Designs. Yeah, Teach Peace Designs, and then that it shows my jewelry, shows my tarot journey, my not tarot. I say to Delco. Okay, so it shows my tarot journey, and then jewelry making and wire wrapping, and now wood carving. And we'll see. This could just be a seasonal project I'm working on, or this could be something far more deeper down the rabbit hole that I go. We'll see. But yeah, like when you're saying with the energies, this is lighting up my chart with North Node in Aries, right? And it's just fire.
That's in your 12th house, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you guys are getting called to do something or try something, please don't say, I would do that or try that if only this, that, or the other. Stop it. Just
do it. Try it.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Yeah, like this wood burning thing that I got, it was like less than $20. You know, I think I got it on sale like $12 or something like that. Like, and you can start wood burning, and the little whittling things you can get $7 to get like a kit of whittling tools.
Oh, wow.
I say whittling, wood carving tools. I put them in the pouch, but you know, a little set like that,
Nice.
and you can start carving. You know, like you guys can do it too. Anybody can do it. If you, and don't say you can't draw, because the stick, the wood will show you exactly what wants to be
Yeah.
drawn or carved or whatever. Just
It's all right. You got me motivated to try something new because I always wanted to do that. I just never took the time to do it.
I hope you do. I really hope you do, because it's so much fun and you just get lost in it, and it's the creative expression. And you know what else? I had Soul Memory was coming back about how to anoint the wood with
Yes.
essential oils. So I had the essential oil and I was, you know, dipping it in and I was rubbing it, and I was like, all these memories were coming pouring back in as
Wow.
the staff was, you know, I just, yeah. So you guys, like, make your own staff or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. If you feel called to paint something or whatever, just do it. Do it, you guys. You
Doesn't
can
have to be perfect, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Nothing's really perfect if you think about it. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
That's right. You know, oh my God, you know what? I haven't even gone to, hold on a second. I want to get over to the comments real quick. Bev, if you have other things in the astrology, I'm
at a good point here. So please.
Oh, wow. All right. I missed a lot, you guys. I'm sorry. I get down these rabbit holes and it just goes, you know.
I do too.
Yeah. Ohio's been nice. Oh, good. Everybody's talking to everybody. Hi, Patrice. Hey, Diane. Hey, Betty. Hey, Amy. Fan. What's up? Waking up tired. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We're
definitely.
Waking up. I'm gonna plug this one up here. But you know what? Just take a couple minutes when you wake up and see. You know, I took like an hour today. I was scrolling. I was actually looking at, I mean, I'm off Facebook now. Update, if you guys don't know, I'm off Facebook. I am on Instagram for Teach Peace Designs, but that's it. That and YouTube here and my website. It's just too much work, you know? But I was scrolling through on Instagram, which I try not to do now, but videos of like cute little baby animals. You know, it was just bringing so much joy just looking at them. I'm like, you know, I don't feel like getting vertical yet. The body was just in pain, and I don't know. You guys feeling that too? You're waking up just like tired and hurting? Like, you're on mission, man. You are working your asses off over there in the Galactic. Don't doubt that. We are on mission. I mean, I've been debriefed. I'm over there. I have dream journals. I'm writing some writings. And by the way, if anybody's watching this video who like knows me personally, or we talk or whatever, you guys better like, you know, tell you, if you don't want me knowing some stuff, you better tell your dream self not to tattle, because your dream self's been telling me some things. Some of you out there. Yeah. Like, I'm, it's funny, Bev, because I'm just like, well, what do you want me to do about it? Well, go tell the human, you know, to knock that shit off or what. And I'm like, that's their experience. I'm not going to do that. Nope. It's yours. It's yours. Handle it.
Right.
So, like,
right.
So yeah, you guys, it's a real place over there where you say, I'm sorry for my dream body, because sometimes you do create scenarios so that you can work through them. And a lot of times you can tell if the soul is a real soul being in that world, or if it's not, if it's a fake, if it's a mask, if it's like not the real person, or you see multiple faces morphing. You know, you get to know the world over there by the energy that surrounds it. And that's how you interpret things. So don't ever doubt yourself, trusting your energy, trusting your own biofeedback system inside. You run that. That's yours to run. Your body, what you put in it, the energy you generate, your chakras, what's in that, how you're using them, what you're generating, the frequency you're putting into it, what you're putting out, that is all your responsibility.
And that's just kind of like right now with everything going on out in the news world and in the world. I don't know. It's just so much right now. We're better to just detach and step back. You know, don't put any energy into, you know, the fear and all the crap going around, because right now that's exactly what the dark side's counting on. You know, just keep your energy high. You know, just project the light, and I stay away from it. You know, I know the main things are what I need to know, but yeah, there's so much right now. It makes your head spin. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, who knows what is truth? Ask
18
yourself
years.
that. Yeah.
Yes. 18-year cycle. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Fin Fan left, your daughter left for college. 18 years. Were we saying this 2 weeks ago, Bev? We were talking about 18 years as an entire lifetime. Like
Yes.
think about that. You just said your daughter left for college.
Wow. So
18,
from the time
19
yeah.
years ago is an entire lifetime. That's a whole conception and birth of a child. And then they off to college, like 18 years old. And like the general rule of thumb, some go earlier, some go later, but like some don't go at all. But if you think about it, it's a freaking lifetime ago. I mean,
It
I
is.
know.
When you think about it, it feels like it. Or who
And
you
not,
were at that point. Do you even recognize who you were? Because a lot of times when you do that inner work and that healing, I ask myself, well, when all the pain is gone, who the hell am I? Because I drug it for so long,
yes.
and that's been a challenge too, to find, constructive things to do with those old feelings and working through it. Yeah, but you wonder sometimes, well, what am I underneath all this? And that's what I think a lot of this has been about, finding out who our authentic self is and being able to stand up and be ourselves without fear.
Yeah. Without fear.
Yes.
Without fear, because you see it, you accept that you are all of that. You accept that whatever this is, the opposite is true, is you.
Yes.
I mean, that surely takes away people's excuse for judging others. If you think about it. Oh, look at that. We don't have any more gossiping. We don't have any more coffee clutch kind of clicks going on. There's no more talking about other people. It takes away that whole thing of judging others, because whatever this is that you say you are and you're choosing, you are also that. And the big exorcism that went on the planet, literally in the spiritual community, when I talked about the exorcism,
yes,
I lived through that. I lived through the experience of that in the dream time. And the experience was nothing short of holy hell. Holy hell on a horseman. I'm not kidding you. I'm not shitting you. It was rough. And the only way out was to make the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. And thank God you say, oh, it's just a dream, or you come back before there's any, horrible things that happen. But to experience what that is, to have that possession exorcism kind of moment for the collective, let's just say it really clears out all of the corners that you might have skipped last season when you were doing your spring cleaning. It really, it takes everything with it when it goes. It's like goodbye, and now you're just polishing and dusting things, like just feng shuiing. You're just feng shuiing now. Like it's gone. It's all gone unless you choose to bring it back in by thinking about it. It's gone.
Yeah, because once you heal it and you release it, it has no power anymore.
Yeah, that's right. And isn't that a beauty for the collective? Isn't that a beauty? Guys, we're getting through this.
And sometimes when you do that healing, and when you finally release it, you think, why was that so easy? And I made it so damn complex, digging into the things, but it's being able to take that detachment, and just observe it.
Just observe. If you can be the observer, you don't have attachments, it won't trigger. And your vibration and your biofeedback machine, when you send out something, your voice won't trigger other people because you're sending it out with no attachments. Now, what you say could trigger them as a mechanism in their own system, and something that you're saying could be like a reflection of a mirror for them to look at themselves. So yes, people can get triggered. But when you're speaking without sending out any karma, like I don't expect anything back from this, I'm giving this out, you send it in gratitude, you encode that with your quantum soul frequencies, and then it becomes a gift and a blessing. Wherever you go, there you are. There you are. There you shall be. Like,
and it all comes back around. It all does,
Yeah, it does.
Good or bad, depending on what you put out. I believe it all comes back in some form.
It does. It always comes back. I'm trying to read the comments too to get caught up. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind you guys. Bev, did you want
That's
that
all right.
chart? Was there more in the chart? I wanted to
No,
know.
that's really just kind of what we've been talking about here. I think,
All right.
like I said, everybody's feeling it pretty well. And this
Oh,
one, let's see.
what about Chiron? Was there something you were going to say about Chiron or do?
Chiron's retrograde right now at that 16 degrees of Aries, so it's not conjunct anything right now. It's getting close to that Eris point too, so I have to look and see when that station's direct. I don't remember on that one, but it wasn't what I thought I saw as important in this chart when I originally looked at it.
Okay. All right. Well, what about the Sabian symbols? Because I know when we were talking about them before, can I bring the chart up real quick when you?
Sure.
All right, good. And Betty is almost to Baton Rouge, she said, and she was at mile marker 144. I love it. 144.
Say hello to Louisiana for me, because I'll never pass through there again.
Betty, you're going to be gridding the system out there. You're
Clean it up.
Bringing all, yes, clean it up down there. Do whatever you're guided to do, and know that Bev is very grateful for not having to go back down there.
Listen, part of that 19 years that I'm ended up was hell down there, so I'm quite glad to see it go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good lessons, but yeah, I won't take seconds. I'm done.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a very wonderful trip. It'll all be good. We're sending you love and blessings, dear Betty.
Yes, have a safe trip. And
Black Betty, da 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 da. Oh, Black Betty. What is that song? Is it called Black Betty?
Yeah. I can't remember who does it, believe it or not, but yeah.
It's like an 80s rock and roll kind of guy, I think.
It was, I think, like a 1 or 2 hit wonder, and I can't remember the name.
Oh, speaking of music, Spirit was saying earlier, using like your body to balance things when you're feeling like the need to shift, to move back and forth, to rock, to stretch, to suddenly straighten your spine and just give yourself a few breaths. When your spirit's telling you to do that, do it. Listen and use music. I was being shown, well, we live this. We actually live this. You guys probably live this too, so I might be preaching to the choir, but I know somebody out there needs to hear this because Spirit had me actually write it down. And using music as an example. So the first choice that you make is the generation for your personal energy. Okay. And we're all responsible for our personal energy and what we generate. So let's use the example of like heavy metal or screamo or, like music that kind of gets your heart pumping, that kind of music. There's that music there that kind of stirs up the adrenaline. Think of that as like masculine energy, right? Use that for generation. That's the fire. And the people that don't like that, can't stand that. They're all like, okay, classical and jazz and nature sounds and music. And there's nothing wrong with all of that too. But remember, it's all balance.
Yes.
So you can have all the peaceful music that you want. You can choose that 24/7. That's great. But if you hear the opposite end of it, it's not to judge, to finger point, to, put down. And think of this analogy with music as for anything in life. The judgments have to stop if we're going to play well in the sandbox together. So Spirit was showing me that. Use the music as your own personal responsibility for what you're going to generate energetically. What do you want to transmit? What do you want to send out? And if you use I love 80s rock and all of that. That's where I grew up, in the 80s. So like if you're using AC/DC to get yourself pumped up, work out or whatever you're doing, if you're using that, use that force wind. But when you send it out, that's on your in breath. And when you're out breath, what you're sending out is the harmonics of controlling the frequency to be the peaceful wave, not the heavy beat. So you actually work with alchemizing the two frequencies within yourself. On the in breath, take in the generation, use that power, alchemize, and on the out breath, send out the peaceful, love, creative vibrations.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Nice.
Okay.
And that's kind of working too with that. You got the sun, Mercury, and Mars all together there. There's the mind, there's the energy, And there's the soul. Make it all work in harmony together. Even when you're feeling underneath the waves and being in the bottom of the ocean there in Scorpio, bring it all into balance and it'll work out.
Yo, I wonder if shrimps have anything to do with Scorpio. Because I feel like my shrimps, the other night I made a shrimp scampi for my mom for dinner. And I feel like the shrimps were saying, don't eat me. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no, don't say that. Yeah.
I know. I love shrimp, but
it's hard
and
enough to do meat sometimes, I don't want to think about where it comes from, I just can't do
if
that.
I start dreaming about little baby chickens, I'm gonna have a fit. But yeah, it's if we
Yeah.
have to stop, we have to stop. But whatever. I was looking to ask you about that. You think the Scorpio's dragging up the seafood?
Dragging up the seafood. And maybe it's kind of like raking the whole bottom of the ocean there, and whatever happens to float up floats up.
Oh
So
my God,
yeah.
that's right. Bottom feeders. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wait,
It's bringing it all up
but
so you can bring
somebody
it up
forgot
and clear it.
there is something written on the Temple of Delphi that says everything in moderation. So I might have to thou dost protest here that they forgot to give us the rule book, which specifies exactly which foods were allowed and not allowed. You know what I'm saying? You forgot that rule book.
Yes.
So everything in moderation until we're guided otherwise.
That's how I look at it. Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
I just feel like we've been lied to and tricked so many damn times that,
Oh yeah. It's just whatever the whim is at the time,
Mm-hmm. All right. We also got healing ancestral lineages through experiences, and we've got personal empowerment when we take our responsibility about the energy that we're generating. It's a life path choice, and how much truth can you handle? How much can you handle? We've got disclosures coming, right? How much truth can you really handle within yourself? I guess that's what we all have to ask ourselves individually.
And I think a lot of dogmas, a lot of things, it's going to be hard for a lot of people when we see a lot of things that we believed in, I mean, there are things that'll shake me up. I'm sure there are things that do, but everybody's got their own different things that shake them up, and sometimes you think you would never change, but as you grow later on, you'll look back and go, how was I ever that version of myself?
Right.
I was definitely learning, and I see the growth, and that's, definitely look at each bit of growth that you've done, especially in this last 18-year cycle. There's been a lot of growth. You look at how much has happened,
Mm-hmm. A lot has happened.
A lot, for sure.
And, are you getting like dreams and visions and synchronicities and number? Are you getting all those things?
I'm getting the numbers a lot. Yeah, getting the numbers a lot. And I haven't been dreaming, though. It's like, I don't know what I do, but I wake up exhausted, and I just haven't been remembering anything for a while now. I just wake up tired and go, okay, what was I doing? Because I sure wasn't sleeping.
I love this. Patrice, plants are sentient too.
That's true.
I think personally, when I say everything in moderation, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'll never not eat something that lives. No, I'll not be like that. It's about the reverence and the respect that you give and the gratitude.
The respect.
Yes. It's the gratitude and respect. It's a reverence. It's a certain kind of appreciation while you're eating that it makes it a whole ceremony. Like feeding your body is like a ceremony. We can just mindlessly stuff our faces, like we've all done it. But when you make it a ceremony, it's true gratitude for the nourishment going into your body. That's what you transform the energy of what the food is going into your mouth. I just didn't want to get into all that because, I figure you guys already know this. I don't want to preach to the choir. You guys that are sticking around here and hanging out with us and commenting, we love you. Thank you for your input too. Thank you for saying that, Patrice, because
thank you.
That is on point. Very on point. Mushrooms scream when they're cut? Oh, no.
Oh, don't say that, because I love mushrooms.
I do
That's
too.
one of my favorite things, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Amy says she said, I try not to think much about it or I'd be starving myself.
Yeah, exactly, because, mushrooms are one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Bless your food and gratitude and alchemize it.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, guys. Well, Their dreams, the visions, the downloads, whatever you want to call them, they're prevalent. Is that the right word? Prevalent.
Yes, I think it is.
Those that are already on the self-discovery path have opened to inner communications that are more distinct as you practice more, which is self-reflection. You just do it more often. So you decide when your focus is the majority of your day. When is it? Where is it? What is your focus on for the majority of your day? And think about it. Can you, like, what frequency band are you putting out there? Can you be tuned in to multiple stations at the same time? It gets a little confusing. Do you ever try to listen to two things at once? Like, you kind of have to pick one or the other at a certain point to focus on. So where are you choosing to have your focus emanate from? Is it down here in 3D, in the drama of what's going on, being pulled by the emotional sway of this and that? Or is your emotional charge not attached, and it's under your tamed control to be able to experience the emotions without having the emotions impulse and rule over you? You want to be able to experience with them, not have them rule over you. And as you do that more and more, you start to hit your own tipping point and be able to see from the higher perspective of your higher self. Like Bev's always saying, how do I take this higher? It's one of the biggest lessons that we can learn with astrology and all that is, how can you take what you've got in the South Node, right? How can you take this and move it forward and pick, a better choice this time?
Yeah,
so
just take the higher road. Yeah.
Yep. And when you're doing that, when you're picking that higher level frequency, you self-reflect more, you decide when your focus for the majority of the day is coming from your higher self perspective, your soul level frequencies. And that all comes down to basically your self-awareness. Your self-awareness just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. You get your downloads, you get your visions, you get your dreams, you get your synchronicities, and they keep coming. And it's pretty amazing.
It is, especially when you start to recognize them right off the bat. I'll find something I'm trying to work on, and sometimes it takes me a while to see those things. But once I nail it right off the bat and go, wait, nope, that's not what I want to do or what I want to say. I'm getting better at catching things. We all have our days, but I try my best to catch things before they come out that I don't want to. And that's really heavy right now with all the emotion with this eclipse. So just kind of walk softly, think about how, it's going to affect other people, and we can't totally sit on our truth and not say it because we have to be our authentic selves, but find a way to say it to make it kinder. Or maybe it's not the time to say it now. Just really think and weigh your words, because it's really easy for things to get escalated very quickly right now with Mars, the Eris point, and all that being involved.
Yep. And if you're showing up authentically, you don't have anything to hide or defend or worry about. You showing up as your authentic self. You just show up. There's nothing to fear. It won't get out of control or heated because you'll have the patience to be there and hold space for someone else who may be flipping out or maybe not receiving this, well. Something might be happening that's tragic in their lives that they haven't processed yet. And to be able to be present for them and not be in it with them, intermeshed, quantum entangled, not to try to do it for them and them for you. And then, back and forth, you have this tug thing going back and forth, but to be able to be there and hold space for somebody so that they can be lifted up to a vibration. So when you separate, there's no cords going back and forth, it's your free divine space, it's your divine birthright to have that. Your body, you decide what goes in it, right? What about your space around you? Same thing. You decide what comes in and out of your fields. So we're all learning that. And we're having soul memories. We're having visions. We're being given our guidance. And the closer we get, the more it's going to happen. So tune in and tune in on the inside.
Yeah.
Listen to that guidance. It's coming. It comes fast and furious, and you're not going to miss it. You don't miss it. You wouldn't even be here listening to this right now. Seriously, you wouldn't be on this channel. So thank you for being here.
Definitely.
Bev, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up with all this fantastic wisdom and awesome energy that you always bring when you share with the community here. You know, we love
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Linda. Thank you, and thank everybody for being here. I hope somebody got a little something out of it tonight. And I know we're down into those last whatever's going to happen next, and it just keeps building up with this anticipation. So I
Yeah.
really believe that this is definitely kicking off with some more stuff. So we shall see.
Oh, it's kicking off all right. It's kicking off all right.
Yes, it is.
Just famous last words. Any final thoughts that you want to give to our lovely community of listeners,
Just take
friends?
care of yourself. Be kind to yourself right now, because self-care is really, really important. I know a lot of times we get wrapped up in stuff, even just finding that time to just sit and be still. I've been kind of busy the last couple of weeks, and I've missed that time a little bit. So just try to work things out and put things in the day. Take a break. You don't always have to be doing something, and don't feel guilty when you do.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Releasing yourself from the guilt.
Yes,
No,
and that's
don't feel
hard.
guilty. It's learning it's learning that your true abundance is your energy. Like you may not, what is it? And even though we ain't got money, so like you might not have the money in the physical, which is like, what does that mean anyway? Like if you have true abundance, it's your energy, it's your spirit, it's your soul. You guys know this. It's the true food. But don't be
Yes.
food, as we used to like to say, is just be a little bit better today than you are yesterday.
For sure.
And
Don't be food.
don't be food. See you guys next time. We love you. Where is it? I think this is the one. Bye, guys.